All right, we've got some really sad breaking news, and there has been a shooting in Michigan at a church. At least 2 are dead, 8 wounded, and the church was set on fire. And we are now learning just now that it was in fact a second victim. Let's hear about that, and then I'll get into a little bit more about what happened earlier today.
A sad update now on that Michigan church shooting. The police chief tells Fox News that a second victim is now known to be dead. Police say the shooter drove a car through the front door of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Grand Blanc, Michigan, just before 10:30 this morning. The gunman fired several rounds and then deliberately set fire to the church. Officers then opened fire as they responded, killing the gunman, who appeared to be armed with an assault rifle. Police believe there are other victims as authorities begin to search the burned structure.
Yeah, about that, the police believe there are going to be more deceased found in the structure because it caught on fire and they were not able to leave. It's very sad.
1 deceased, the suspect is deceased as well, and then multiple victims are in critical condition. We do believe that we will find some additional victims once we find the area where the fire was.
And here's an image that just came out of that car being driven into the church. Now, I don't want to do the thing that MAGA does and hypothesize about what could have happened, automatically inject politics to this. You know, someone here says, here's a picture where the gunman ran his truck into the kitchen of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Doesn't look like left-wing domestic terrorism to me because the person had 2 flags. I don't care about the ideology. I want to stop doing the blame game. These are maniacs who are doing this. They have no ideology insofar as the only thing they believe in is destruction and killing people. I don't think that's a left or right ideology, completely honest. Now, MAGA is a far right ideology, but they don't want to kill people, okay? The left and far left people don't want to kill people. We can all agree on that. And you might be upset with me for saying that, but I do think that we have to point out that the people doing this stuff are not politically aligned to anyone. They're nihilists. They just want to see chaos and destruction. And here's what some of the destruction they wrought. As you can see here, church completely on fire. It's awful. It's awful. We don't have to live this way. We choose to as a society. Now, I will say, the only group of people who want to do something about gun violence are Democrats. That is a fact. Republicans insist on us living this way. In some strange way, I feel like this must be what it's like to be at war. Because eventually you just become numb to the death and the violence. I imagine that's what war is like. Eventually the bombs going off don't really bother you. They just sound like background noise. I refuse to let this be background noise. We don't have to live this way. We currently choose to. We could elect Democrats who want to fight like hell to stop this, and we could fight to make sure only Republicans in office are wanting to do something about this. It's not going to be easy, but nothing good worth fighting for ever is. Here's a little bit more about what happened. A man crashed his vehicle into a Michigan church on Sunday and then opened fire, killing at least 2 people and wounding at least 8 others. The authorities believe the gunman set fire to the church. More victims may be still inside, like I said. The chief, Ranier, said congregants were inside attending services before the gunfire rang out and the building was engulfed in flames. He initially reported 1 death and later said a second person had died, as we are now seeing. Investigators did not release the identity of the gunman or describe a possible motive for the shooting at the church. And again, here is what Kash Patel said. I don't trust these people. I'm sorry, I don't. We are tracking reports of this horrific shooting and fire at an LDS church. FBI agents are on the scene to assist local authorities. Violence in a place of worship is cowardly. Like, I don't believe they're gonna. I hate that I think this way. But I feel like they're gonna do everything they can to either, one, make it seem like someone on the left did this, or two, if they're unable to do that, they're just gonna quietly not show any evidence that shows that it's not someone on the left. And perhaps it is someone who identifies as right-leaning. Again, I don't care. What they identify as. I just want this shit to stop. I think we can all agree on that. Anyways, Donald Trump said this. I miss having like a normal president. I have been briefed on the horrendous shooting that took place at the Church of Jesus Christ. The FBI was immediately on scene. We will be leading the federal investigation and providing full support to state and local officials. The suspect is dead, but there's still a lot to learn. This appears to be yet another targeted attack on Christians in the United States of America. The Trump administration will keep the public posted, as we always do. In the meantime, pray for the victims and their families. This epidemic of violence in our country must end immediately. I agree with that. But the right is insisting on making this about who's to blame. Watching the attack on Christian state in Michigan, I will say it is only going to get worse. The Democrats in Michigan are running a Muslim for Senate in 2026 named Abdul El Said. There's people dead. They might not have even identified the bodies yet. And this is how she's talking. Benny Johnson said, Christianity is under attack. And people under that replied, I live up here in Michigan. It's never gotten up to where we are before now. This is starting to become a nationwide crisis. If it turns out to be a crazy liberal, and honestly, I'd be shocked if it didn't, someone has to deal with them militarily. These are terrorist cells. Mere weeks after Charlie Kirk's assassination, Tyler Robinson, raised in a Mormon home, gunned him down. Attackers now target a Mormon church in Michigan, leaving multiple shot. Maryland says this is a Mormon church. Coincidence? Someone else said, deep ties to trans cult or something darker at play, Democrats. Yeah. So I just want to point out, too, that Donald Trump is golfing right now. He's golfing right now. The President of the United States. When all this is happening, if he's worried about violence in the country, one, there's something he could do. He could tone it down himself. Two, he could actually, be at the White House working. There's a government shutdown that's looming. He could help, meet with Democrats. Do something about that. But instead, what they intend to do is make this worse. They want to keep raising the temperature so that more people get hurt, more people get scared, and they're able to acquire more power. That's what this is all about. They don't actually care that anyone has died. I'm sorry to say that so bluntly. They don't care. They probably, on some level, see Charlie Kirk as a sacrifice for the movement, for them to create the country that they want, which is one where Donald Trump and Republicans have total control. And so anything like this that happens, they don't care about who died. They just care about how they can use it to make power for themselves. And we're seeing that in their responses. Well, we're going to keep watching this, following it. I'm sure we'll learn more. I don't know how much of it will be true, but we will learn more, and I'll update you as we get it. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please hit like. And if you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing, and I'll see you next time. Bye.